folks that we'd be going over statement of rights. I will be doing that in English while Ms. Chavez is interpreting in Spanish. So if any of you get to a point where you can't hear or understand me, just wave your hand and I'll slow down or back up. This statement is intended to inform you of your rights as a defendant. This is not an exhaustive list of every right you possess and is not intended to be. You have the right to a formal reading of each of the charges against you, as well as a reading of the potential consequences in the event of conviction. You have the right to a speedy and public trial. You are innocent until the state has proven your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to prove your innocence. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at every stage of the proceeding. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court may appoint one for you. If you waive your right to an attorney, you may reassert it at any time. You have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses of the state. You may also present witnesses of your own and compel their attendance if necessary. You have the right to remain silent with the power to decline or refuse to make any verbal or written statement to the prosecution. You have the right to testify, but only if you choose to do so. Reading from a section called Special Considerations for Non-Citizens. I don't know if this applies to your particular situation. I just read it to everyone. Conviction of a crime can adversely affect the immigration status of any individual who is not an American citizen. This applies to all convictions, including most traffic offenses. Receiving a diversion can constitute a conviction for immigration purposes. Adverse effects to your immigration status may be significant. These include the potential revocation of your immigration status and or the ordering of your deportation. Because of the potentially severe consequences resulting from a conviction, you are entitled to an opportunity to discuss the potential impacts of a conviction with an immigration attorney. Wishing to discuss the potential consequences of a conviction with an immigration attorney does not constitute an exercise of your rights to counsel. You are not entitled to the appointment of an attorney solely to address potential immigration issues. I will go over each of these, or I will ask each individual if they understood these rights when it is your turn to come for the court individually. I'll go off the record and go to each case individually. This is Kearney County District Court Case 2024 CR 9, State of Kansas versus JV and Cade Granado. Mr. Granado, you are here in person. Mr. Gallegos is also here in person. He represents the state who filed these charges. Sir, did you understand your rights as I read and advised them earlier? Are there any that you did not understand or you have a question about? All right, could I get you to pull the microphone a little bit closer and be sure and speak into it because we are making a record? Sir, you are here today on a one-count complaint alleging theft in violation of Kansas Statute 21-5801, paragraphs A1 and B4. This is a Class A non-person misdemeanor. A person who is convicted of a Class A non-person misdemeanor could be sentenced up to 1 year in the Kearney County Jail and ordered to pay a fine of not more than $2,500. When I say up to and not more, those are the maximum penalties that could be assessed. They are not always the penalty that is ordered, just because that has factors as to criminal history and other things that could change that. Do you understand, sir? As a result of your appearance here today, you have certain rights regarding representation. First, you have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you wish to hire an attorney of your choosing, if you would let the court know, the court will set this for a future date to give you time to make those arrangements. Another option is you can request court-appointed counsel. In order to qualify for a court-appointed attorney, you must fill out an application and a financial affidavit. You must meet certain financial requirements in order to qualify for a court-appointed attorney. I need to also advise you that if you receive a court-appointed attorney and are ultimately convicted of any of the charges against you, you may be required to repay some or all of your attorney's fees. Your third option for today is to waive your right to an attorney for this hearing. That gives Mr. Gallegos the ability to discuss your case directly with you. That gives you the opportunity to possibly work out some resolution on your own. I will advise you, if you do waive your right to an attorney today, you always have the right to tell the court you've changed your mind and you want an attorney for future hearings. Do you understand each of your rights regarding counsel? How would you like to proceed today, sir?
Waive the attorney.
Very well. Is anyone forcing you to waive your right to an attorney today? Is anyone promising you anything in exchange for waiving your right? Very well. Court will find that you have knowingly and voluntarily waived your right to an attorney. I also will remind you once again, if you change your mind, let the court know and we can revisit whether or not you want an attorney, okay? Mr. Gagos, do you wish to inquire? We'll go off the record to allow for a conference.
All right, let's go back.
One's a notice. Okay.
Your Honor, we're gonna need another court date. Defendant is gonna be applying for the. Out before he leaves.
That is May 7th. Roughly 45 days. It's about 6 weeks. Earlier if you need.
Let me look at the calendar, Your Honor.
We also have April 30th. Probably closer to 6 weeks.
Uh, 11. Or wait, you're in school right now, right? Put it at 3:45. If it's not in, then you be here at 3:45. Make sure it's legible, because if I can't read that, she can't read it. So, May 30th,
April.
or sorry, April 30th. At 3:45, Your Honor.
Correct. Renato, county attorney says you may have reached an agreement. So what I have set is a diversion status hearing for April 30th, 2024 at 3:45 PM. If you have completed all the paperwork and it has been filed with the court, you probably won't need to appear. It's your responsibility to know that everything is done prior to that date. If you are unsure, then you need to appear on that date. Or if the diversion is not completed and filed, then you need to appear. Do you understand, sir? All right, there's some scratch paper there and there are pens behind you if you want to write that date down. That's April 30th, 2024 at 3:45 PM. Any questions, sir? You can leave, take it with you, leave it, whatever. I fill that out. You don't have to sign that one, so. Just remember that court date, okay? And if you have everything done before that, you're good. All right, we are off the record in Kearney County District Court Case 2024 CR9. Thank you for your appearance. Nelson Flores de Villa. Good morning. March 19th, 2024. Kearney County District Court Case 2023 TR 532. State of Kansas versus Nelson Flores de Villa. Are you Mr. Flores? Very well, you're appearing in person. The Kearney County Attorney is here in person. Sir, you are here today on a 2-count complaint by the Kansas Highway Patrol. Before I go over the charges, did you hear and understand the rights as I read them earlier? Did you understand each of them as I read? Thank you. Sir, you were here. The first charge is no driver's license in violation of Kansas statute 8-235. That's a Class B non-person misdemeanor. A person convicted of a Class B non-person misdemeanor may be sentenced to up to 6 months in the Kearney County Jail. And may be ordered to pay a fine of up to $1,000. Those are the maximum allowable penalties and not necessarily the penalties that would be imposed upon conviction. Second charge is speeding 78 in a 65 zone. That's in violation of Kansas statute 8-1558. A person convicted of this charge is guilty of an infraction. Persons convicted of infractions could pay fines and court costs. You understand each of the charges and the potential penalties. Thank you. Sir, you have options for representation today. If you would like an attorney, you may hire one of your choosing. If you choose this option, I will give you time to make those arrangements. If you would like an attorney but don't think you can afford one, you may apply for a court-appointed attorney. This requires you to fill out an application and a financial affidavit. Must meet certain financial guidelines to qualify for court-appointed counsel. If you receive court-appointed counsel and are later convicted of any charge, you may be required to pay some or all of your attorney's fees. Your third option is to waive your right to an attorney today. If you waive your right to an attorney, Mr. Gallegos is then free to discuss your case directly with you. This could allow you to come to some sort of resolution between the two of you. If you waive your right to an attorney, you always have the right to change your mind and tell the court you would like an attorney. You understand your rights as to a counsel or an attorney? How do you wish to proceed today? Okay, so you'd like to waive your right to an attorney and speak with Mr. Gallegos? Is anyone forcing you to waive your right to an attorney? Okay. Is anyone promising you anything in exchange for waiving your right to an attorney? Thank you. Court finds you've knowingly and voluntarily waived your right to an attorney. Mr. Gallegos, would you like to inquire? Go off the record to allow you to meet. Yes.
Have an agreement in which, the defendant will be pleading guilty to both count one and count two. Count one, according to the citation, is speeding. Count two is no valid driver's license. The speeding, there'll be a court cost of 108. Speeding 78 on a 65 is $63. No driver's license fine, 300. And there'll be a 60-day underlying jail sentence suspended on 120 days, no law violations, and 120 days.
Mr. Flores, the county attorney says you've reached an agreement. Is that correct? I'm going to ask you a couple of questions regarding this agreement. First, are you under the influence of any alcohol, prescription medication, or drug that would make you unable to make good decisions? Thank you. And is anybody threatening you or making you enter into this agreement? And do you think entering into this agreement and getting this case done is a good thing for you? Very well. Thank you, sir. Then as to count one of the complaint, speeding 78 and a 65, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Very well. And as to no driver's license, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Very well. I need to ask a couple of questions about the date of the stop. On December 26th, were you stopped by a Kansas Highway Patrol trooper and given a ticket? Were you driving a 2009 Lincoln passenger car? Prior to being stopped, had you been speeding 78 in a 65 zone? And at the time you were driving, did you have a valid driver's license? Very well. The court notes that the location listed on the citation is in Kearney County, Kansas. And that factual basis exists and finds you guilty of both charges. Prior to sentencing, do you wish to say anything to the court? Very well. The court will sentence you per the agreement. For speeding, you will be fined $63 and ordered to pay $108 court costs. For no driver's license, you will be ordered to pay a fine of $300. You will be sentenced to 60 days in jail, suspended. Suspended means you don't have to serve the time if you complete the remainder of the agreement. The remainder of the agreement is you have no new law violations for 120 days. And that you pay all fines and costs within 120 days. Do you understand the requirements of you regarding this sentence? Very well. And I must advise you, you have the right to appeal certain portions of this conviction and sentence. If you wish to file an appeal, it must be done in writing within 14 days. If you don't file a written appeal within 14 days, you've waived your right to appeal. Finally, you have the right to seek an expungement at a future date. Expungement is a court process that can remove convictions from your record for civil purposes. Requirements for expungement vary depending on the charge or charges being expunged. Information on expungements can be found at the Kansas Judicial Council website. Do you have any questions regarding anything I've told you? Very well. If nothing further, we are adjourned. Thank you for your appearance. Have a bench warrant to discuss. Yes. This case, I believe I'm showing a bench warrant. Let me go back into a bench warrant, if any recall. Start to say something, Mr. Gallegos. Very well. Kansas law requires him to be fingerprinted and photographed for his misdemeanor charge. Go down and get processed right now. Explain through Ms. Chavez where he needs to report. Counsel, I'm going off the record as of this case. The rest of this is just housekeeping.
Va a tomar como unos 30 minutos.
Mr. Grasmick, we're about to take up your case. Okay, nothing further? We are adjourned. Thank you. Before he goes downstairs, if he will stop and speak with the clerks, they can give him the website. Thank you. All right, Ms. Chavez, I think we may be done with you. I don't see anybody else that I think we'll need an interpreter for, but let me double check with Mr. Gallegos when he gets done talking to Mr. Burton, okay? Mr. Gallegos, I don't see anybody on the docket after that we need an interpreter for at this time. Do you see anyone?
I do not believe so.
Very well. Thank you for helping us out. Ms. Chavez, you're welcome to stay as usual, or you're welcome to leave. Thank you. Two. All right, Mr. Grasmick, are you able to hear me? Mr. Burton, we're handling Mr. Grasmick first. Yeah, just wait back there. You done mute, sir?
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
I can, sir. Thank you. Sir, this is Kearney County District Court Case 2024 TR 59, State of Kansas versus Stephen T. Grasmick. Mr. Grasmick, you're appearing via Zoom. Mr. Gagos is here in person. Prior to your appearance or early in the appearance, did you hear me advise individuals of their rights regarding as defendants in a criminal or traffic case? Did you hear me advise those?
Oh, yes, sir.
Did you understand each and every one of them I advised?
Yes, sir.
Very well. You're here today on a one-count complaint filed by the Kearney County Sheriff's Office. That complaint alleges a violation of unsecured load, also known as securing loads on vehicles, in violation of Kansas Statute 8-1906. That is an unclassified misdemeanor. A person convicted of an unclassified misdemeanor could be sentenced to up to 30 days in the Kearney County Jail and ordered to pay a fine of not more than $500. I said up to and not more than. Those are the maximum allowable penalties for an unclassified misdemeanor. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the sentence or the penalties that would be imposed, but it is possible. The penalties imposed are likely based more on criminal history, driver history, and those things. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. I know you've probably heard this a couple times by now. You have the right to be represented today. If you wish to be represented by an attorney, you can hire one of your choosing. The court would give you time to make those arrangements and set this for a future date. You also have the right to be, if you think you want an attorney but can't afford one, you have the right to request court-appointed counsel. That requires you to fill out an application and financial affidavit. You must meet certain financial guidelines to qualify for court-appointed counsel. If you receive court-appointed counsel and are later convicted of anything regarding this case, you could be required to repay some or all of your attorney's costs. Your third option is to waive your right to an attorney for today's hearing. Waiving your right gives Mr. Gallegos the opportunity to discuss your case directly with you to see if the two of you can come to some resolution. If you waive your right to an attorney today, you always have the right to change your mind and tell the court that you would like to have an attorney for future hearings. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to proceed regarding today's hearing?
Waive my right to an attorney.
Is anyone forcing you to waive your rights today? Mr. Grasmick? Freezing.
Connor, since he's
Uh,
freezing.
There we go. Is anyone forcing you to waive your rights?
No, sir.
All right. Is anyone promising you anything in return for waiving your rights? Mr. Grasmick, I might need you to park or do something. We're losing your feed. The only way we can do a Zoom hearing is if you have good signal. Grasmick, can you hear me?
Okay.
Grasmick, you're
Yeah.
freezing up on me. Can you hear me now?
Over here right next.
I need to maintain signal with you in order to, there you go. Can you hear and understand me now?
Yeah.
All right. Is anyone promising you anything in return for waiving your rights?
No, sir.
All right. Court finds that you have knowingly and voluntarily waived your rights. I will give Mr. Gallegos the opportunity to discuss this case with you. Give him 1 second while he's talking to someone else, and then the two of you can go to a breakout room and discuss your case.
Okay, thank you.
Steven? What I do on these cases typically is, you can either plead guilty or no contest to securing the load. There is there's a $60 fine. Usually we require there to be total of $168. You want to get this?
Sorry, I can't hear him very good. He's out pretty bad.
Sorry, is this a little better?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
Okay, typically what I do on these cases is, if you want to plead guilty or no contest to having unsecured loads, there's a $60 fine, $108 court cost. Typically, there's 30 days in the county jail, but I'm not going to ask for any jail time. So you'll, upon paying $168, then this case will be resolved. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're in court right now, Your Honor. Do you want us to repeat everything that we just
No,
stated?
I heard it. Mr. Grasmick, reached agreement with the county attorney, is that correct?
Yes.
You think this is a good deal for you to get this over with today?
Yes, sir.
Is anyone forcing you to enter into this deal?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any stressors, prescription medication, alcohol, or drugs that would make you unable to make good decisions today?
No, sir.
Very well. Then as to count one of the complaint, unsecured load in violation of KSA 8-1906, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Very well. Quick question. On or about the 13th day of February, were you operating a Peterbilt tractor trailer unit and lost part of a load on a highway?
Yes, sir.
Did that occur in the 2200 block of Road 160 in Kearney County, Kansas?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Court finds factual basis for the charge, accepts your guilty plea, finds you guilty of unsecured loans. I will sentence you per the agreement, $60 fine, $108 court cost for a total of $168 with no jail time. Sir, you have the right to appeal certain parts of a conviction and or a sentence regarding this matter. If you wish to appeal, you must do so in writing within 14 days. Also have the right to request an expungement of this charge. Expungement is a court filing that can remove this conviction for certain purposes, civil purposes at future dates. Expungement requirements vary depending on the charge being expunged. Requirements and information on expungements can be found at the Kansas Judicial Council website. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
How long to pay, Your Honor?
Do you want your standard or less?
Standard is fine.
Mr. Grasmick, this wasn't discussed. The court generally gives a person 120 days to pay the fines and court costs imposed. So I will give you that 120 days. That means you can pay it anytime up to, just don't be after 120 days, okay? And that can be paid through the Kearney County District Court's clerk's office, or you can contact them for the ability to pay online. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Very well. If nothing further, we are adjourned as of this matter. Thank you for your appearance.
Thank you. Have a good day.
And you can sign off. Thank you. Burton, you want to come up? Deputy Milne. There was a bench warrant pending for Mr. Burton. Has he been arrested on the bench warrant? Did you get arrested or did you just show up today?
Today, but I got arrested a while back on that bench warrant.
Right, and then you failed to appear, so there's another bench warrant, so we'll need to deal with that while we deal with your case. We might be able to resolve it. I'll have to talk to the county attorney about that, but we'll go over all that formally. Okay, we'll go over all that.
Connor? I've been in talks with Mr. Burton.
Second, let me get on the record, sir. I believe we are on the record in Kearney County District Court Case 2023 TR 300,041. I believe this is a second appearance or similar. I believe we've had a non-appearance in there. All right, go ahead with what you were going to tell the court, Mr. Gagas.
In speaking with Mr. Burton to the phone and or fine. I thought it was 100, but it was actually.
Any other provisions? No law violations?
All violations,
All right, Mr. Burton, for the record, this is probably about your third or fourth scheduled appearance on this case. And so the county attorney says that you have reached an agreement. Is that correct? Did he state it correctly as to your understanding? Wish to proceed with that agreement? Is anyone forcing you to do so? Anyone promising you anything other than the dismissal of one charge to enter into this agreement? And for the court's record, that dismissal of the one charge is because you did have proof of insurance or provided proof of insurance. Is that correct? Very well. Then, sir, as to count one of the complaint, illegal registration in violation of Kansas Statute 8-142, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Very well. And regarding that charge, on or about November 6th, 2023, were you operating a motor vehicle on the River Road? Had contact with a Kearney County Sheriff's deputy? Did the vehicle you were operating have a current tag displayed? Very well. The court finds factual basis for the charge, finds you guilty of illegal registration. Are you ready to proceed to sentencing? Anything you want to tell the court prior to sentencing? Very well. The court will follow the agreement. Will order you to pay a fine of $300 for the illegal registration, $108 court costs. The court will give you 180 days to pay the fine and court cost. Also, as part of the agreement, you are required to not have any law violations within that 120 days. That's part of the agreement. And will be sentenced to 30 days in the Kearney County Jail suspended. Suspended means you do not have to serve that time if you complete the agreement as stated. That includes the payment of fines and costs and no law violations within the 160 days, 180 days or 6 months. Do you understand, sir? As a result of this conviction and this sentence, you may have certain rights to appeal. If you wish to file an appeal, you must do so in writing within 14 days. If you have not filed a written appeal with the clerk of the district court within 14 days, you have waived your rights to appeal on this case. Do you understand? And finally, you do have the right to seek an expungement of this conviction at a future date. Expungement is a court process that can remove this conviction from your record for certain civil purposes. Information on expungements can be found at the Kansas Judicial Council website, and the requirements vary depending on the type of offense being expunged. Do you understand, sir? Just some housekeeping. Mr. Gallegos, I am showing a bench warrant was issued February the 20th. How do you wish to?
I wish that that be recalled, Your Honor.
Very well. Then the bench warrant will be recalled in this matter. Mr. Deputy Mylum, do we have any need to process? Was Mr. Burton processed on this
It's
case initially?
It's an unclassified, so he doesn't. need
Doesn't
to
require? Very well. Then with the bench warrant being taken care of, do you have anything further, Mr. Gallegos? Very well. If nothing further, we are adjourned as to this matter. You've got the 180 days. If you have questions about how to go about paying this, contact the clerk of the court as you leave and they will give you information. Any questions, sir? All right, we are adjourned as this matter. Thank you for your appearance. Mr. Gallegos, do you need to deal with Renato at all?
Nope.
We'll go over the remainder of the docket when you're free and clear. Yeah. Okay. Just wait right here and I'll hand it to you if you. All right, Mr. Gallegos, tell me when you're ready to discuss the remainder of our docket. Kind of late on that counter. Thank you.
Okay, Kayla Scott Joe, Kayla Good Joe Scott. This is the second time she hasn't appeared.
I don't
Your
have
Honor.
her on my docket. I think
her
I've
on your
got her
docket.
next week. Let me check because I remember seeing her on a future docket potentially. Kayla Joe Scott, I'm showing for March 26th at 9.
Go with yours, Your Honor.
Double check. Okay. I do we issued a bench warrant February 20th and now she's on the docket. So I don't know if that means
They picked her up, yeah.
you have information on Kayla Scott regarding a bench warrant issue.
That's what her bond stuff says.
I
That
don't have a bond return. I'm just seeing she's on the docket. I'm trying to. And sometimes either they call and get a date or there can be
if I remember correctly, she might have called and I told her that we couldn't talk to her.
called.
But if they pick her up before then they pick her up before then.
I have her on the 26th, so we will have the same discussion then if she's not here. How's that?
My record just so. At what time, Your Honor?
I believe it's 9 a.m. Let me go over who I have and then we can go over who you might have. 2023 TR 391, State of Kansas versus Marcos Alonso Esparza Gonzalez. He was a fail to appear previously. I do show a bond sheet where he was released from custody to appear today.
But if there's a bond sheet that says that,
There is, and it's through KESO,
Garza Gonzalez,
right? Marcos Alonso. This was the TOC or possession consumption. It's possession.
I thought he bonded. They gave him this date, so he didn't show up again.
Issued a bench warrant on on or about February 1 for January 30th. Failure to appear. Arrested. On, let's see, out of order. Arrested on the 3rd day of February. Bonded to appear today. Is that the same day? 7/24, so yes. So
Apparently $1,000 cash or corporate surety is not enough. Well,
I'll split the difference with you and go $1,500. Bench warrant shall issue failure to appear in 2023 TR 391 for cash or corporate surety bond of $1,500. I have 2024 TR 58 Gene R. Eatinger. This was one that was originally written for a date that we didn't have court, and I saw that he was moved to this date. Wondering if you or the court has something. Was initially on the citation to be here the 12th day of March, which was one of the dates that was taken off the calendar, and somehow or other there was looks like he did get a summons served on March 11th.
here,
The old summons, it's got all of our COVID stuff on it. Not that that makes a difference.
he could have still called and got Zoom.
I'm showing the Zoom information is accurate. I know this gentleman is local. Here's my dilemma. I don't like that we had to move him because he had a citation shown, but there is a summons that shows served by one of the deputies. How do you want to proceed? You want?
I'd like to not issue a bench warrant. I have to.
Well, this is a classified.
$500 cash or corporate surety.
Very well, based on non-appearance in Kearney County District Court Case 2024 TR 58, stated failure to appear this date, this court will issue a bench warrant with a $500 cash corporate surety bond. And tell me when you're ready for the next one, which I'm hoping is quick and easy.
Go for it.
2023 TR 313 Alan Baraza. I believe at our last appearance, there was discussion about something being handled prior to today.
That's at 11:30, but we do have a diversion agreement. He's supposed to bring.
I know I've got that one at 11, but all right, so we'll hang on to that. And then
Dominic Sisseron.
that one, the diversion was filed, or I'm sorry, there was a journal
Journal
entry.
Yep.
So I've removed it from my docket because it's a done case.
Bay Muhammad was here earlier. His diversions through.
Got that one a week or two or three. I have, because the jail had Verben Paxman on at 11, don't think we had him till next week. But I had him put him on there. Couldn't forget about him. I believe he was appointed and he was first appeared. Appointed public defender. So do you, what 2024 CR 15, what date did you have him?
28, 24, 11:30. But Rena just added him today because you had him.
Well, I was contacted when the jail came up with their information. They had in their notes that he was on for today because I originally had him on the,
So we saw him on March 6th. He was appointed Steve Cott,
so I guess the question
and
the court
March
has,
28th.
have
was the
you
date.
had any contact from Mr. Cott's office? Do we need to
Not
move him
regarding
back
this
to
one.
that 28th date?
Not regarding this, Your Honor.
When did you have him? March 28th at what time?
At 11:30.
Okay, I did notice that that's the same day we have a bench trial starting at 9. Adam Jeffrey Owens beginning at 9. So we're in agreement to put Mr. Paxman back on the 28th docket where we had him.
Yeah, let's just do that. And if he shows up, then we'll.
Have that, deputy. And that's because that was a date I think his attorney was potentially available. So the only one I have left after Paxman is Mr. Baraza. Do you have any that I don't have?
It's here. We already have the diversion agreement. He just has.
Okay, I will move him to notes needed. And I have nothing further. If you have nothing further, we can close the courtroom.
I haven't. I just know that someone was arrested.